We're vlogging today. Hello. What's up, everybody? I've been in Boston for a couple of days now. No, I have not been punched in the face. My skin has been reacting so poorly to my mask the past couple of days. Obviously, I'm still wearing masks on planes, so I flew to Boston for a conference I'm attending, and I've also been wearing my mask at the conference just because there's tons of people in like every session. And yeah, my skin is not having it. And for some reason, my left cheek is just like really irritated specifically because, you know, the mask comes like right here. And homegirl over here is not having it. But yeah, T-minus 2 days until I head on over to Japan to visit my best friend, Nami. I will be vlogging that experience. And yeah, I'm excited. So I think I'm just going to do some skincare here while I talk about my preparation for my trips to Japan and South Korea. Okay, so first off, I just want to start by saying this trip that's coming up has been a long time coming. So my best friend Nami, she's from Fukuoka, Japan, and we met in college, in undergrad. She was a student in the English Language Institute at my university, and I was working on campus as a peer mentor. And one of my mentees was like, "Oh, I want to introduce you to my conversation partner. I feel like you guys would really get along." And so he brought her to one of our meetings, and the rest is history. Like, we hit it off, and we truly became besties. I am using bio oil. It is a skincare oil. It really helps remove scars. And so I always start off by putting it on any scars that I have because I'm always accidentally, I feel like I'm very clumsy, especially with my hands. Like, I'll reach on a shelf or something and I'll scratch myself and then it'll leave a scar. So you can see like right above my like middle knuckle that there's a small scar there. It was much bigger, but I've been putting this on and it's been going away. It also helps with fine lines. So I like to put it on my little laugh lines over here. But yeah, so she very easily and very quickly became my best friend in college. And we hung out all the time throughout undergrad and even when I was in grad school and she was finishing up her undergrad. And then in 2019, when I had graduated grad school and she had finished up her year of optional practical training, OPT, which is something that they allow international students to do after they finish their degree, we both moved. I moved to Florida to be where I'm working now, and she moved back to her hometown in Fukuoka, Japan. And so we were like, all right, we know we're going to graduate / move in 2019, so we should plan a 2020 trip where I visit Japan. And she had actually planned on like coming to visit America too, in that year as well. And then guess what happened? You'll never guess. All right, I'll tell you. This weird thing called a global pandemic happened, particularly surrounding this virus called COVID-19. And it really just ruined a lot of people's lives. And so obviously I'm using sarcasm, but y'all know that traveling was impossible during that time, especially out of the country. And so in our silly, naive little heads, we're like, this will probably blow over in like a couple months, you know, see it in April. It did not blow over by April. And then years went by and now it's 2023, which is wild to believe. And so towards the end of last year, we're like, all right, as soon as Japan opens its borders, we're revisiting this trip idea. And then Japan reopened its borders, and I said, I'm booking my flight. Booked my travel plans in January, and now we're 2 days out. I'm using the Ferver Hyaluronic Acid Serum. Like I've said in other videos, I have no particular loyalty to any particular face serum. If I find one that I really love, that really stands out, I'll let y'all know. But this is what we have at the moment. So there's a couple of things that go into planning a trip to Japan. One thing for sure, I would always recommend going to like the U.S. Embassy and Japan, U.S. and Japan Embassy, that talks about travel requirements, restrictions, vaccination requirements, all of that important stuff, because you definitely don't want to be caught slipping at the airport and they're like, oh, you don't have this, that, and the third, we can't let you in, and now you're stuck at your layover and you can't get to your destination. So you want to make sure to really read through all of the websites that are listed and all the information that it has. If you are fully vaccinated, and so what they are considering in Japan to be fully vaccinated is both original shots as well as a third shot or a booster, then you do not need to test for COVID and prove a negative COVID test 48 hours leading up to your trip. If you're not fully vaccinated, and fully vaccinated again by their standards means you also have at least that third booster shot, then you will have to provide a proof of a negative COVID test at least 48 hours, or actually 48 hours or less up to the trip. Then you have to go to this travel or visit Japan website. On the Japan U.S. Embassy website thing, it mentions that U.S. citizens that hold a U.S. passport do not need a visa to visit for short periods of time. It said up until like, I think a couple months, don't quote me on that. I'm only going for 6 days, so definitely that exception applies to me. So I don't need a visa. But you do need to fill out the Visit Japan website and put in the exact location that you will be staying at. So if you're staying at a hotel, you got to put that address. If you're staying at a friend's house, a relative's house, whomever's house, Airbnb, you have to put that information in. So I had to fill all of that out, and then that was pretty much it. Upload a picture of your passport photo ID picture. Obviously your own personal information, your passport number. Don't be confused with your passport card number, because I was confused. Make sure that you're putting the passport number that's on the book page with your picture on it, not the little card that comes with it. This is my first time traveling, so I didn't know that, but I asked a couple of friends and they were like, that card is like low-key irrelevant. So don't confuse your passport card number with your passport number. They're different, which is ridiculous, by the way. They should be the same number. And the only reason that I found this out is because I actually filled out the whole Visit Japan website and then started filling out the online information for my trip to Korea. And it also asked for my passport number. And when I input the number, it was like, we do not accept passport card numbers. And I was like, then what do you need? And then I opened up my passport booklet and I was like, oh, this is a different number. Interesting. So then I had to go and re-register for my trip to Japan with my actual passport number, not passport card number. So please don't be fooled by that. But yeah, for Japan, fill out the Visit Japan website, all that information. And there's a couple of other things that you need to do after you register your general information. You need to also fill out like a pretty much like pre-arrival customs form, just to like inform them, are you planning on claiming any items, different things like that. So you want to make sure you fill all of that out, and then there's a segment that'll say fill this out once you enter Japan. For Korea, you have to fill out what's called a Korean Electronic Travel Authorization, or a KETA. And for that, they also have an app for it, which is nice. But you fill out pretty much similar information, your general information and identification, the exact location and address of where you're staying, your passport number, again, not passport card number, but your passport number. And then you also have to fill out this website called Q code, which is basically like your quarantine information. And you need to fill out up until the very end, and then the last portion of it, again, it's going to tell you to revisit it 48 to 24 hours before your trip, and you have to basically log any potential symptoms that you have. And if you don't have symptoms, then you have to put that you don't have any concerning symptoms. But that stuff you don't fill out until a couple days before the trip. You also have to input where you're coming from. So for instance, since I'm coming from America to Japan, for my Japan trip, of course, I put that I'm coming from America and what airline I'm coming from. But for the Korean website, I'm putting that I am an American citizen, but I'm entering Korea from Japan. So you just have to make sure that you pay attention to the questions that they're asking and not just like go on autopilot and start filling stuff out, because they are asking like specific questions, which like if they don't match up, you might not get in. I'm now putting on the Dew Point Moisturizing Gel Cream from First. Makes your skin nice and dewy and soft. So yeah, definitely a lot of work on the back end, just filling out all the stuff online, but it's really just like easy information about yourself that you have to fill out. Now, the one challenging thing specifically with the Korean website is the format in which you're inputting the address. It will not accept the address you put unless you put the exact correct format. My friend sent me her address because I'm staying with her, and I inputted it just like she sent it to me, and it was like, please enter a valid address. And I'm like, hello? I had to double check with her like multiple times, and girly, you know, me and her are in a different time zone right now, so the communication lag it just felt endless. I would try to fill out the form, it wouldn't take it. I'd message her, are you sure this is the right format? And then like a day and a half later, she'd be like, oh, try it like this. Input it, doesn't work. Ugh, it was just like, it was a whole thing. So after like 4 days of trying to figure out the correct format of her address, we figured it out. It accepted it, and then I got to the end part that I can't fill out until 48 hours before my trip. So I'm all set on the back end, and all I have to do is go to the airport. I've never been out of the country before, so I'm super excited. And I can't wait to, you know, just be there, take it all in. I unfortunately believe that I have missed, like literally just missed cherry blossom season in Fukuoka by like a week. Like had I gone last week, I would have caught it. I'm now using e.l.f. Skin Holy Hydration Face Cream. It also has broad spectrum SPF 30, but I'm not going outside for the rest of the day. But it's a nice moisturizer. I'm really bummed I missed the cherry blossoms. It's definitely on my list of things that I want to see while I'm in Japan. But I'm hoping that like maybe there's still like some subtle cherry blossom action going on. No, it might not be in full bloom anymore, but maybe I can still catch like a little bit of cherry blossom, you know? That would be really nice. So that's pretty much it for everything I did to prepare for my trips to Japan and South Korea. Like I said, I'm super excited. I can't wait to vlog my experience, and most importantly, I really can't wait to see my friends again in person and give them all big hugs and just spend time with them and really experience their culture. They've experienced plenty of my culture. We spent a lot of time in America, so I'm very excited to show that reciprocation and get to experience their culture in real time in their country. So definitely stay tuned. I can't wait to update you all and share my experience. Well, see y'all next time. Stay rad. Bye.